Good morning. My name is Sandra Zapata from the Frederick Alexander University in Erlangen-Nuremberg in Germany. Today, I will be talking about the relations between the European Union and Latin America in times of confrontation between the United States and China. The international system is facing a Zeitenwende, or times of structural transformations. This critical juncture is characterized by the crisis of globalization, inequality, the climate emergency, the coronavirus pandemic, the resurgence of war aggressions, and its global socio-economic consequences. If we consider some facts, the new geoeconomic and geostrategic dynamics are relocating the centers of gravity of world power from the transatlantic axis to the Pacific and Asia axis. Nowadays, China is not only the center of the Asian complex, it has become the second largest economy of the globe. Some scholars argue that competition among great powers could give rise to a new Cold War, or to new zones of influence, to new commercial wars, and it also poses a direct challenge to the liberal model in terms of democracies versus autocracies. This would again confront the world into a bipolar relation. Here, I argue that if the European Union and Latin America do not want to make uncomfortable decisions taking sides in geopolitics, a stronger bi-regional relation can constitute a third pole for reshaping this re-emerging bipolarity. How is the external action of the European Union framed within this bigger narrative? Europe has realized that it faces increasing dependencies, for instance, on China's technology, on Russian gas, or insecurity and defense from the United States. The European Union's core strategy is to mitigate taking bipolar decisions by increasingly becoming a global geopolitical power and achieving greater strategic autonomy. This concept lies at the heart of foreign policy as means of resilience to ensure that Europeans take charge of their own fate. It is in this context that we should read the renewed interest of the European Union in Latin America. The European Union wants to revisit the bi-regional alliance because this gives Europe the opportunity to diversify its dependencies and promote an innovative partnership to face the current challenges. The new cycle of a geopolitical and more autonomous European Union opens up opportunities for cooperation and rearticulation of ties with Latin America in areas such as trade, energy, norms, regulations. For instance, regarding the association agreements, the European Union and Latin America have developed one of the densest networks of associations, trade, political, and cooperation agreements. In terms of trade, the European Union and Latin America can cooperate in setting international standards and moving towards agreements which are not the business as usual FTAs. For instance, the Mercosur agreement becomes a very strategic issue in these times. Some other interesting areas are food and health system, accessible energy, capacity in the management of data, access to space, among others. To conclude, we can say that in light of the global changes, the renewed cooperation between Latin America and the European Union regions is key in terms of building a third pole of global actorness. The framework of cooperation needs to be revisited, having a long-term sight of where the world is moving towards. The European Union and Latin American relations should be seen as a common space of dialogue to think of innovative policies, setting standards, regulatory convergence, change in production and consumption models. Thank you.